Hi, welcome back. I am Jenni Rock and I am a coach, an author, and an advocate for parents who are determined to raise emotionally healthy kids after separation or divorce. You'll have to forgive me, I don't do editing. You'll see me misspell, lose my words, whatever. It's fine, it's just me. So, you're going to be watching a reading from my book, which is called Healing Through Words. And it's a guide designed to help you communicate with your ex without causing emotional fallout for your children. Now, whether you're dealing with high conflict co-parenting, being misunderstood, or simply trying to stay calm in the chaos, this space is for you. Let's dive in and we'll see how the right words can protect your children's peace and your own. Okay, so now we're on chapter 2. So there are 10 chapters in total, and this second chapter is called Red Flags and Common Pitfalls. Now, no one ever enters co-parenting hoping that it will be chaotic, toxic or confusing. But many parents find themselves in exactly that situation. The truth is that unhealthy dynamics, which are often present, they creep in gradually. And what starts as a miscommunication or frustration can evolve into very destructive patterns if left unchecked. Now, this chapter is about helping you recognize these red flags early because you can't change what you can't or won't acknowledge. And sometimes the most damaging dynamics are the ones that we've normalized. Now, the first thing that we're going to look at is the children. Using your child as a messenger, an emotional supporter, or leveraging them to control or punish the other parent. This puts emotional weight on young children's shoulders and turns your child into a battlefield and not a beneficiary. The second one is inconsistent boundaries, saying one thing and doing another, especially around parenting times or time agreements or rules. Children thrive on predictability, and mixed messages can increase their anxiety and behavioral issues. Third one, this one's fun. Passive aggressive communication, sarcasm, guilt tripping, or emotional manipulation disguised as civility. It creates confusion. It escalates resentment and it teaches children that emotional dishonesty is normal. Public shaming, venting about your co-parent on social media. Has anybody ever seen this? I have. To your child, or even in front of mutual friends or family. It may feel like you're just releasing it, letting it out, but it often backfires and it damages trust with your children and your community. And the fourth one here, stonewalling or ghosting. Deliberate silence or avoidance instead of communication or compromise. When one parent checks out emotionally or logistically, the other is left holding the burden, and children will notice the imbalance. Now we're going to move on to common communication pitfalls, but before we do, I'm pretty sure that most of us have seen some, if not all, of these red flags play out with people that we know and love. Even if we're not doing it ourselves, then we can certainly see the behavior in other people, but we don't necessarily know that it's a red flag, but now we do. So we're going to go into common communication pitfalls next. So the first one is assuming intent, interpreting messages through your own emotional lens without checking the facts. When you're hurt, it's easy to assume malice where there may be none. So I've used the phrase clarity must replace assumption. So, for example, you get a text that says, I'm not picking the kids up this weekend because of XYZ. Your immediate thought is, but I've got plans. How dare they? They're doing that on purpose. They're just trying to mess with me because I've made plans. What if they didn't? What if they really just can't pick up the kids this weekend because the car's broken down, or they haven't got enough money for fuel, or they have an urgent appointment at the hospital. The fact is that you don't know. Therefore, you can't assume the content. You have to give clarity and ask the question, oh, is there a problem? For example. But clarity must always replace assumption. Do not make assumptions, because that will lead you into trouble. Over-explaining, trying to justify your choices to someone who is committed to misunderstanding you. It wastes emotional energy and it opens the door to more conflict. So if you know that whatever you say or do is going to be wrong, why are you trying to justify yourself? Just state the facts. That's it. That's all you need to do. No is a complete sentence. Firing from the hip, here's another one. Responding instantly, emotionally, and without a pause to consider your tone, your impact, or your purpose. At that moment in time, it might well feel satisfying, but it rarely heads to long-term peace. So you get a message, how dare you, what are you doing, you're just messing with me. But the reality is you don't know. You're just making assumptions. You're shooting off a message that is based on your interpretation of the statement. So take a breath, pause, just wait. Using your child as the excuse, saying the kids want XYZ or the kids feel XYZ, when it's really your own discomfort driving the request. It's not the kids, it's yours. It clouds boundaries and it really confuses the child's ability to have their own autonomy. Can't say the word autonomy. I can spell it, can't say it. Autonomy. But your child has their own voice, and when you are speaking for them or supposedly for them, especially if you're not saying the truth, it messes with their feeling of self and how they perceive things. So you're role modeling for your child how to react and respond when they're facing challenging behavior. Maybe take a breath, just stop for a moment. Keeping score, measuring who's done what, who's felt more, and building treatment. That's because my glasses, it's a little bit blurred from this distance. I'm not doing too well here. So keeping score, measuring who's done what, who's failed more, and building resentment instead of solutions. Co-parenting is not a competition, it's a collaboration. Okay. Now, why these patterns matter? Your children are always watching. They are learning how to communicate, how to disagree, and how to handle hard emotions by observing you. When unhealthy dynamics dominate, it teaches the child that conflict equals chaos or silence instead of communication and resolution. They learn that love is conditional. They learn that safety is unpredictable, and they learn that silence equals strength. But when you show them repair after rupture, clarity after confusion, and calm in the middle of chaos, you give them the emotional blueprints that they are going to use for the rest of their lives. So what to do instead? So we figured out what's happening. Now we need to know what to do instead. And you're going to have to excuse me because I'm doing a lot of talking and I'm getting a really dry mouth. So when you catch a red flag, just pause. Ask yourself, is this about control or communication? Is this serving peace or feeding the conflict? Practice naming the pattern aloud to yourself. This is me wanting to defend, not to connect, or this is me reacting from fear. Shift from what did they do to what can I model for my child right now? Choose the long game. One calm text, one well-boundaried handover, one moment where you don't take the bait, not the bet, the bait. One moment where you don't take the bait. I need new glasses. They all add up. So recognizing red flags is not about judging yourself or your ex. It's about taking inventory and choosing to lead with more clarity, more accountability, and more calm for your child's sake. Now, in the next chapter, we'll explore how to shift from reaction to response and how a pause can be your most powerful parenting tool. So there is chapter 2 for today. I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you can forgive me my stumblings, my inability to read, and my inability to speak. And if you have any questions, then please obviously comment. If today's session spoke to you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you don't miss future readings and real-world strategies. You are not alone in this. I've helped thousands of parents across the globe shift the narrative, protect their kids, and regain control of their lives. If you want to go deeper, head to www.coparentingwithoutconflict.com, all one word, no spaces, to explore coaching resources and support made just for you. Keep speaking with intention, and remember, your voice shapes your child's world.